Broadcasting live from somewhere in the Shadow Realm, this is YuGiOh Duel Links Talk. Here's your host, Doug Dimmaduel.
Hey there, and welcome to another episode of YuGiOh Duel Links Talk. Today, I want to take a look at a deck that's been a lot of fun to play, and I know had some pretty significant use in the past within the Duel Links metagame, so to speak, and it is the Rex Raptor Dinosaur Kingdom type deck build. And this one's pretty interesting because it seems like a majority of the cards that you're going to be relying on are normal monsters. So you're not relying on monsters with any types of fancy effects or anything along those lines. But the benefit that you have is that Dinosaur Kingdom is a field spell that increases the attack of all your dinosaur-type monsters by 300. Now, I know there's cards like Yami and there's cards like Umi that will boost your monsters by 200 attack, but this one is a bit more significant. So, when I want to just go through some of the standard monsters that you could build in this deck. Then we'll get into some of the strategy involving some of the spells and some potential trap cards that you can use in this deck to make it pretty effective and make it really competitive. So to start with the monsters, you get Crawling Dragon number 2. This is a card that can be dropped by Rex if you're going up against him in the legendary duelist battles at the gate. So Crawling Dragon number 2 is a level 4 with 1600 attack and 1200 defense. So what that does with your Dinosaur Kingdom is boost its attack to 1900. So it's really formidable right away, right at the gate. You already have a 1900 level attack monster out there, so very, very useful card. Next here we have Two-Headed King Rex, another level 4 dinosaur, 1600 attack, 1200 defense. So again, because of Dinosaur Kingdom, you're looking at a 1900 attack. So Twin-Headed King Rex is a pretty strong card right out the gate as well. You can also get an Uraby, which is a level 4 dinosaur, 1500 attack, 800 defense. So you're looking at about an 1800 attack if you're sitting there with your Dinosaur Kingdom on the field. So not the worst card in the world. Next to this one just came out within the Crimson Kingdom deck. It is Cabazals, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Kabazauls. It is a level 4 dinosaur, 1700 attack, 1500 defense. So this is a bit of a game changer now as far as people now taking a look into Rex decks, because now you can get this normal card. It's nothing special. It's a normal out of the Crimson Kingdom deck, and you're already looking at having a 2000 attack monster right out the gate because you have Dinosaur Kingdom on the field. So this is a very strong card that can come in handy regardless. So that's why, and also too, and I've noticed that it's really nice when you're playing with this Rex deck, and not only do you have your Dinosaur Kingdom on the field, but if you're going up against somebody with the water deck who's using Umi, now you're looking at a 2200 attack monster on the field. So just before anything else. That's pretty slick. So that's why I like this card a lot. Cabazals, however you pronounce this thing, it's freaking awesome. But anyway, moving forward, let's go take a look at some of the spell cards that can be useful in this type of deck. There are other deck variations where they run some tribute monsters or anything along those lines, but this one that I run right now, no tributes. Those are all of the monsters that we just discussed. You could change the numbers around, whatever makes your flow better. But I run 2 copies of YuGiOh. This is the card that you could get from the card trader. It is an ultra rare, so it's pretty costly. But what it is you target 2 face-up monsters on the field, have the attack of one monster, and if you do, add that lost attack to the other monster. These effects last until the end phase. So what this will do is if your opponent has any unbelievably strong monster that they were able to get onto the field, like say for example even a Master of Oz with 4200 attack on your opponent's side of the field, doesn't matter that you only have a 1900 attack Two-Headed King Rex, because you activate YuGiOh, you take half of Master of Oz's attack, you apply it to your Two-Headed King Rex, and boom, the net difference is the 1900 attack that you started off with your Two-Headed King Rex. So this card is just great to help you get over those situations where your opponent just has too strong of a monster that none of your regular monsters could get to. So really solid card. The next one that we have here are 2 copies, because I only have 2 right now, but I'd like a third one, is Order to Charge. It's the quick play spell card where you select one face-up normal monster except a token on your side of the field when you activate this card. When this card resolves, tribute the selected normal monster and destroy one monster on your opponent's side of the field. This is just another method of getting rid of any pesky monsters on your opponent's side of the field that maybe you just don't want to deal with. Again, that could be something that has a really high attack, or something that has just an unbelievably good effect, like, say, for example, I would use the example just of just any ridiculously strong monster like a Black Skull Dragon or something along those lines. Yeah, you could take the loss, or even, and the best thing that I like to do with Order to Charge is wait for your opponent to attack you. Then you could activate the Quick Play spell card, destroy your monster that was going to get destroyed in battle anyway, and then take advantage of that and destroy your opponent's really strong monster. So, also too, I run a copy of Double Summon. It's the super rare spell where you can conduct 2 normal summons or sets in the same turn, not just one, because at least what that allows you to do is fill your board with some pretty strong dinosaur monsters, and if you got the right stuff, you can really just capitalize on it and really get a quick kill in if your opponent doesn't have much to combat what you have on the field. So filling the field with these pretty decent attack power dinosaur monsters can end a game rather quickly on the depending on the situation. Next too, if you could get a copy of it, run some copies of Enemy Controller or anything along those lines, even Security Orb, something that you could use to change your opponent's monsters from attack to defense, or even try and take control of some of your opponent's monsters. Enemy Controller is kind of my default. If you got a copy of it, but there are other things to do just in case you're going up, say, a Summoned Skull with a high attack but a low defense. Just switch him to defense, and you could get him in the next turn with your dinosaur monsters. So take advantage of those types of cards. What I also like to do is I like to run copy. Just run a copy, and I've been contemplating whether or not to keep this in, but from a trap card standpoint, I run a copy of Infinite Dismissal. This one's interesting because with the current gameplay, it seems like everybody is so scared of the 4-star Ladybug, or whatever that card is, the insect that destroys all face-up level 4 monsters that your opponent controls. So it seems like a lot of people now run a lot of level 3 monsters with high attack. I'm talking about like Jerry Beans or the Sonic Duck, stuff like that. High attack monsters, but that are level 3. Well, Infinite Dismissal, what this one does is level 3 or lower monsters are destroyed during the end phase of the turn that they are normal summoned or flip summoned. So this, I don't know, it's a really good card, especially since when you're running a dinosaur deck, you're sitting here with really just a ton of level 4 monsters. So yeah, you expose yourself to some risk, especially if your opponent has the 4-star insect that'll destroy all of your monsters. But if you're not going up against one of those, then you're in good shape. But that's why you run such a high volume of dinosaurs anyway. So yeah, some of them may get destroyed, but you're ready to reload because you just keep these things coming. That's again why I like to run Infinite Dismissal. It's not going to affect you in this deck. It's really just going to affect your opponent, possibly. So that's why it's one of those cards that it just don't hurt at all. Also run a copy of Windstorm of Itaqua. You change the battle positions of all face-up monsters your opponent controls. So that's just another good way to bide some time in turn, or potentially if you want to see one of your opponent's monsters with a high attack and a low defense switched, this is a great trap. One other card that I run here, similar to Riryoku, and one that you're able to get just from leveling up your characters, is the trap card Metalmorph. If you're not familiar with it by now, you target one face-up monster on the field and equip this card to that target. It gains 300 attack and defense. If it attacks, it gains attack equal to half the attack of the attack target during damage calculation only. So what this would do is if you attach this to one of your monsters, you can pretty much get over just about any powerful monster that your opponent could possibly put on their side of the field. That's why I like to run Metalmorph. If I had another copy of it, I would love to have that as well. But this is just to compensate for the fact that you don't have that really powerful tribute monster or that really powerful fusion monster. You're just running 1900, 1800, 2000 attack dinosaurs. So, but yeah, that's part of the strategy. You're actually able to end duels pretty quickly, depending on what your opponent has. That's why I like this deck a lot. It has just a pretty consistent impact, and having cards like Order to Charge and having cards like Riryoku really make this deck competitive. So, these are just the kind of things that you want to look into if you're building a Rex deck. I know this is pretty basic from a strategy standpoint, but sometimes keeping it simple is sometimes the better method in certain cases. So, but I've had a lot of fun playing this deck. I've used it a lot for some PvP. I've made it pretty far into things with this deck. I've made it well into gold. But yeah, I mean, there are some tweaks that you would need to make to really make it even more competitive, but it just depends on what cards you have. So if you've built a Rex Raptor deck or anything like this with Dinosaur Kingdom, I'd love to hear about your build and maybe discuss it in a future episode. So even if you can, take a screenshot of it, send it on over to Twitter at YuGiOh Deck Talk. It's all one word, at YuGiOh Deck Talk. And I'd love to do a similar episode down the road with more Rex Raptor stuff, especially as more support comes out. It seems like with each new set, we have the possibility of either getting another really strong dinosaur card or something that would just fit into this style of play. I know it's a little more on the aggressive side, and sometimes that's my play style. So yeah, it's really nice. But anyway, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Take care.